There are a lot of eSIMs for Japan, so I narrow them down to just the best 3 and I compare them apples to apples. The criteria is coverage and reliability, speed and latency, ease of use and setup, as well as customer service, and finally, the pricing for what you get. Most importantly, I do tell you which one I recommend the most. And to start, all of my top 3 do come with free hotspot sharing, but none of them come with an actual phone number. That's because most eSIMs across the globe are just designed to be data lines only. I'll talk to you later about how this may impact your trip and how you can actually get a real phone number if you do need it. All right, I'm gonna start with my best overall pick. And while they're not as beginner friendly as the other 2, I think they're just the overall best choice because of their reliability. And they also have more coverage across Japan than any other network. This means you're gonna have the best 5G speeds in cities, crowds, tunnels, and excellent coverage whether you're in rural areas, mountain regions, or just general towns. One of their coolest features that I think they're the only ones that have this is if you don't have internet access, you can actually still buy a new plan and update your gigabytes in case you ran out. Where they do fall behind the other 2 is customer support. If you actually want to get a hold of a customer service rep, you got to do that through web form or email. And it doesn't stop there. It's going to take you about 6 to 24 hours just to get their response. So I recommend Ubigi if you want the best coverage and speed, but you're not somebody who thinks they always need a customer service rep to have your back. Luckily, they've cranked up their competitive edge for pricing, and they do that by offering unlimited data for only $39 for about 15 days of service. And there is no daily throttling. And that's the best part of unlimited because the other 2 do throttle you. Ubigi was my best overall pick, but if you're new to eSIMs in general, then I think Airalo may be your better choice. I think that's because they have an easier setup and user experience with their app, and eventually I'll talk about their customer service, that's better too. Airalo's Japan service uses SoftBank towers unlike Ubigi, so they're very close to the coverage as Ubigi, but not as good. And you might know SoftBank by name, maybe you don't, but you actually might be using their coverage right now. That's because they're a major investor in T-Mobile here in the US. By using SoftBank's towers, you're going to get reliable 4G and 5G coverage in major cities and most rural areas. But it does get somewhat spotty out there in the far countries or in mountain regions, or unless you're like in the deep underground train stations. However, if your entire trip is going to be major cities like Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, you're probably going to never notice any difference than any other service out there. So regarding their customer service, they are easier to set up and use the app. And I would say their customer service is very good too because they have 24/7 support via WhatsApp. If you don't know what WhatsApp is, it's just like iMessage, but the rest of the world uses it, unlike here in the US. In case you don't know, the average stay in Japan is 10 to 14 days. That's why I recommend getting a plan that's going to last that long, especially unlimited, because that's going to get the best deal. For Airalo, that's about 15 days of unlimited use for $49. However, it's not truly unlimited. After you hit 3 gigabytes, they start throttling you down. But I think that 3 gigabytes is plenty because it's going to totally cover all the YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, or TikTok use you'll probably have. Unless you're spending most of your vacation on those videos, which you shouldn't be. You should be on vacation having fun. So if you are worried about going over usage, I do have some tips and tricks later on in this video, how to stay under that limit. Airalo has about 94,000 reviews on the App Store with 4.6 stars. Moving on to the next one is Saily. They launched in 2024, so they're the new kids on the block, and they're backed by Nord Security. If that sounds familiar, yes, they're the same Nord VPN that you've seen countless commercials on YouTube. What that means for you is it's going to give you 5G speeds in major cities, subways, crowded stations, but it's going to be more mixed reliability with LTE coverage in the mountains and the Hokkaido wilderness. Their setup is about the same as Airalo's, but doesn't come with the hand-holding guides that Airalo does. And I would say they're probably my best budget pick for their low cost. Now, a really cool, unique feature they have that I really like is built-in ad blocking. And regarding those 3 gigabyte throttling, with that ad blocking, you're actually saving on all the data that's not being used up by ads. For customer support, they offer 24/7 chat support, just like Airalo, but it's through their app itself and the website instead of a third party. The price is the same, 15 days for $49 unlimited, and instead of being throttled at 3 gigabytes, you get 66% more at 5 gigabytes per day. They have 8,500 reviews and 4.7 stars on the App Store. If you liked any one of those, I put all the links down in my description and pinned comment. I'd like to quickly mention that Jetpac and Holafly eSIMs are still good ones that might be suitable for your needs, but I think the top three I just mentioned perform better for most people. First off, both Holafly and Jetpac often route their data through servers in Europe and Hong Kong, and it creates a lag. This way, if you're using Google Maps, it might feel sluggish, and if you're doing a real-time translation, it might actually start it for you, and that's probably a really big deal breaker, especially if you're trying to navigate a busy station or just trying to find your way in general. If you're heading to the wilderness or the Japanese Alps, these two apps are pretty much going to lose signal, and you really want something that's rock solid like Ubigi. The other two eSIMs that are heritage brands catering to traditional tourists are Japan Wireless and Journey Japan. They are reliable, but a little outdated, and here's why. They spend a lot of their time and money doing marketing in airports and kiosks, so basically you're paying a higher cost just for them to advertise for more people. Both brands do focus heavily on physical SIMs as well and their pocket Wi-Fi rentals, so their eSIM activation is more like a second tier, second thought type of thing. Lastly, several apps and services in Japan require an actual phone number, and if you recall, all these eSIMs are data only. Some major services that do require one are Go Taxi and Loop Bike Rental, but I'll talk to you in a minute about how to actually get a phone number. Other services that require phone numbers are bookings on Tablelog, or concert tickets, or even some high-end hotels. So here are my two ways to get around that. The first one is buying a Mobal eSIM, and it's one of the only providers that offer both voice and data for tourists. You're gonna actually get a real 070 or 080 area code that works for both texting and calls. You will need to upload your passport for ID verification because that's Japanese law. But I say it's worth it if you have a packed itinerary and most of your plans are actually gonna require a local line. The second option is an app called Viber. And for that one, all you gotta do is load about $5 onto your credit into the Viber app, and then you can call any Japanese landline for about 3 cents a minute. Another tip I want to share with you is I found a way to get free Wi-Fi, and all you have to do is download the Japan Wi-Fi Auto Connect app, and you can do that from home. It's 100% free, and once you're registered with it, you'll be able to connect to 190,000 hotspots across airports, train stations, as well as convenience stores. So make sure to download that one. I also recommend downloading the Line app. It's how most Japanese make calls and texts. It's basically the iMessage of Japan. This video on your screen actually has more tips about navigating and translating something in Japan. So go ahead and like this video and subscribe if it helped you. Best of luck.